Hola y buenos días. Soy yo, el señor Maurice. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Have you all been practicing your Spanish? Espero que sí. Today, we'll review the things that we've been talking about up to now in this unit. We'll discuss the people who work in your community, and we'll see a video that hopefully you'll enjoy and it'll give you a chance to review some of the things. But as always, let's go ahead and begin with our canción de saludos. Canten conmigo. Hola, hola, buenos días, bienvenidos, ¿cómo están? Todos juntos ya estamos listos para aprender. Muy bien cantado. Well, let's go ahead and begin by reviewing the things that we've talked about in this unit up to now. And to give us a forum to do that, I'd like to go ahead and make a little game out of it. So, teachers, go ahead and divide your class into two groups. If you already have your groups made up, you can use those. If you need to make groups, go ahead and put me on pause. I don't mind a bit. Now, let's start off with our two groups. I'm going to show you a picture, and I want to see if you can tell me what it is before I count to 3. Keep score among yourselves there to see how you do. Let's start with this first one. This place. It's one of the answers that we can give to ¿Dónde vives? Team 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you say una ciudad? If you did, give yourselves a point. How about Team 2? Another place where you can live. Okay, you recognize this? Not a lot of tall buildings. 1, 2, 3. Un pueblo. If you said un pueblo, give yourselves a point. Okay. Team 1, it's your turn again. This place. You should know this because it's pretty easy. It's kind of a cognate for a word in English. And we talked about it in Unit 1. 1, 2, 3. El campo. El campo. Okay. Team 2, it's your turn now. This is one of the community services that we've talked about in the last couple of lessons. Should be pretty easy. It's a cognate, so the word is almost the same in English and Spanish. 1, 2, 3. El hospital. El hospital. And remember, like we said on hermana, hermano, hijo, the H here is silent, so it's el hospital. Okay, Team 1, it's your turn. How about this one? Oh, this one's kind of a tough one that you got, isn't it? You see that word up there, and this is the place where where their offices are and things. If your teacher lets you use your notes, you can use those. If not, see if you can come up with it on by yourselves. 1, 2, 3. La jefatura de policía. La jefatura de policía. And you see the J, the letter J? That kind of has the H sound, doesn't it? La jefatura de policía. Okay, Team 1, I hope you got that one. Team 2, how about this one? Oh, there's a mailbox right there. He's got a bag. This looks like an office of some type. See if you can come up with the answer to this. 1, 2, 3. La oficina de correos. La oficina de correos. And that's what we call the mail, correos. And then this is an office. Okay, Team 2, hope you did well on that. Team 1, it's your turn. Station of some type with this guy in his slicker. Go ahead and see if you can get this, Team 1. 1, 2, 3. La estación de bomberos. La estación de bomberos. Now it's kind of tricky. I hope you got that one, Team 1. Team 2. Here's this place, and it's a department. They're here to keep the town sanitary. That's your hint, Team 2. Tell your teacher what the answer is before I count to 3. Uno, dos, tres. El Departamento de Sanidad. El Departamento de Sanidad. Yeah. Then we talked about this one. Oh, Team 1, you're so lucky. Look at this one. Duh. No brainer. By the time I count to 3. Uno, dos, tres. El banco. El banco. Yeah. Team 2, let's see what you get this time. I'll give you the hint. You go and negotiate here to buy things. You negotiate to buy things in these places. That's your hint. I'll give you till 3 now. Uno, dos, tres. Los negocios. Los negocios. Okay. How about it, Team 1? How about this one? Oh, Team 1. You are so lucky. You get all the easy ones. This is where you guys are sitting right now. We talked about it in Unit 1. Here it is again in Unit 2. I'll give you till 3 to tell your teacher the answer. Uno, dos, tres. La escuela. La escuela. And I think we have one more here. This is for Team 2. Team 2, and boy, you kind of get the tough ones sometimes, Team 2. This is a mouthful. This is the community service where you go to check out books, and maybe you can check out videos, maybe surf the web. Got a lot of information. See if you can tell your teacher by the time I count to 3. Uno, dos, tres. La biblioteca. La biblioteca. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Now, remembering the question words on that board that we discussed at the beginning of this unit. Remember all those question words? I want to ask you a question and see if you can figure out what I'm asking. Okay. The question is, ¿quiénes trabajan en tu comunidad? ¿Quiénes trabajan en tu comunidad? Now let's see this first word here. ¿Quiénes? ¿Quiénes? Well, we'll take this es off the end and talk about quién. ¿Quién? Do you remember what quién means? It's not what or when or where. ¿Quién means who. Remember who. And over here, trabajan. Trabajan. And we talked about this in the first unit. Trabaja. ¿Dónde trabaja tu mamá? You remember that? Works. Okay, so who works, okay, en tu, in your comunidad. And that's another cognate. Community. Okay, so ¿quiénes trabajan en tu comunidad? Who works in your community? Well, let's relate it to some of the places that we've been talking about and see if we can talk about some of the people who work in our community. Well, the first place that we talked about in your community was this one. El hospital. El hospital. This is a community service, and there are some people who work here. One of the people who works here are these people. See, they've got their smocks on and their stethoscopes. You go to see them if you get sick or if you break an arm or a leg, they'll set it for you. And they're called, what are they called in English? What are they called in English? Doctors. That's right, because they study medicine. And that's kind of what they're called in Spanish. En español son los médicos. Los médicos. And you see the accent right here? That tells us we stress this syllable. Los médicos. Repitan todos. Los médicos. Yeah. Well, they work in a hospital. But somebody else works in the hospital too. And that's these people. Yeah. My mother was one of these people. They wear their uniforms and they assist the doctors in a lot of ways. They help them. What are they called in English? If you said nurses, you're right. En español son las enfermeras. Repitan todos. las enfermeras. Okay, that's right. Well, now we know what the question is asking. ¿Quiénes trabajan en tu comunidad? It's asking about all of the people, or who works in your community. Let's look at some more of those people right now. In this place here, la jefatura de policía, the big building here of the policía, who works in that building? Sure, these people here do. What do we call them in English? They're called police officers. Is that right? That's right. They may be men, they may be women, but they all help us, and they're police officers. And you saw what it said on their building, and you know what the name of the building is, so that'll help you know what they are. It's a cognate, it's almost the same. They are los policías. Repitan todos. Los policías. And you hear that stress on that accented I? Policías. Los policías. All right, so they work in the community. Who are some of the other people? Oh, la oficina de correos. In the office of mail, these people work. The letter carriers. Letters are called cartas. Letters are called cartas. So if you send somebody something, you send them a carta. And these people are called los carteros. Los carteros. Go ahead and write these down in your notebook. Carta is letter, and carteros are the people who bring the letters. So eros is like the ending that they put onto words in Spanish. Like we put er, somebody who bakes is a baker, somebody who teaches is a teacher. You see, we put er endings onto our word in English. In Spanish, they'll a lot of times use eros. How about this next place? La estación de bomberos. So the people who work in these places, the firefighters, are called bomberos. Bomberos. Repitan todos. Los bomberos. Okay. Now, someone says, this looks like the word bomb. Well, it does kind of, but a bomba in Spanish is a pump, like to pump water. So the people who pump water are called bomberos. Los bomberos, they pump water on the fire to put out the fire, don't they? Yeah, so they're not bombers, they're firefighters. Los bomberos. And we have another place that we talked about in the community, del Departamento de Sanidad. El Departamento de Sanidad, the Department of Keeping Things Sanitary. And the people who work there are these types of people. Yeah, you may see them working around where you live or around the school, and they come and pick up things like the trash to keep it sanitary. What are they called? All right, sanitation engineers, garbage collectors. Well, in Spanish, garbage is called basura. That's what you call garbage, is basura. So these people, if we put that EROS ending onto the end, become los basureros. Los basureros. Okay, so again we see that eros ending. Muy bien. So here's a case where our studying Spanish can help your English some. In Spanish, when we talk about turning things into people words, like bomberos and basureros, we talk about the EROS ending. In English, we add ER, so that someone who drives is a driver, someone who teaches is a teacher, someone who talks is a talker. If someone swims, what are they called? Here you go. We'll keep practicing those types of things. Our next class, we'll talk about the people who work in the other places in the community that we've been discussing. And if you want to try to get ahead, you can go ahead and look them up yourselves before our next class. Okay? But to help us go over what we've done so far, I'd like you to watch this roll-in on the people who work in the community. Ahora, presten atención y repitan todos.
¿Quiénes dan los servicios? Los médicos, las enfermeras, los policías, los carteros, los bomberos.
Muy bien. Now, ahora vamos a ver la hoja de actividades llamada ¿Quiénes trabajan en tu comunidad? Número 1. Number 1. So we know this isn't going to be the only one like this. But let's look at this one. It looks like this. Ooh, it looks a little bit trickier than some of them. Let's go ahead and start by writing your name up here. Voy a escribir mi nombre. Me llamo Roberto. Remember, think about the letters in your name in Spanish as you write it out. Now, there's a couple of things that you have to do here. First of all, unscramble these words associated with people who work in your community, and then draw a line from the word to the picture of the person. Well, let's look at this first one. Can anybody guess what that first word is? Do you think you know? It's one of these words up here. I'm going to give you a hint. I think it's carteros. C-A-R-T-E-R-O-S. C-A-R-T-E-R-O-S. That's it. So I'm going to put a line through that. Now, once you unscramble all of these words, what I'd like you to do is come back and draw a line from the word to the person here. So, we're looking for carteros. That's the person who carries around the cartas. Is this the cartero? No. ¿Este? No. Ellos son carteros. Sí. So once you finish that, draw a line to the person who they're talking about. Okay? And you should be able to recognize most of these. Hopefully you've been taking notes on your things. And as you're going over there, try to think about and review the alphabet in Spanish. Think about the letters in Spanish, okay? Saben que ya es hora de despedirnos. Now, as I've said, next class we'll review what we've done up to now and then look at some other people who work in the community. For our canción de despedida hoy, vamos a cantar La Bamba. This is one of my favorites. So, canten conmigo. Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba, se necesita una poca de gracia para ti, para mí, ahí arriba y arriba, ahí arriba y arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Bamba, bamba. Bamba, bamba. Yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, 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 bamba. Well, I'll see you all next class, and until then, adios. And hasta luego.